Quack. 12 and... Oh,
yeah.
I am your host, Adam Jamail.
And I'm Aaron Schroeder.
Aaron Schroeder, the ghost of Aaron Schroeder. I heard Aaron Schroeder died 10 years ago on this very armchair by doing absolutely nothing.
I want to get into really good fun and games about my death, but maybe it's a little too soon to be talking in such.
That's a good point. You gotta really think about the grand scheme of things here. Welcome to the Quack 12 podcast, the most official, unofficial Oregon Ducks podcast on the web footosphere. I'm joined, as always, like I said already, I haven't done this intro in a while, by Aaron Schroeder. He's over there in his armchair, like I said earlier.
Why have you summoned me? There is no football of which to speak. What am I doing here?
There is no football to speak, or whatever you just said. I've lost my freaking mind. But this is our annual Catching Aaron Up episode, in which my co-host, who's a great guy, who's a wonderful sound engineer, who watches a lot of college football and sports.
Debatable.
Retains? Not so much.
I retain about 12% more now than I did 4 years ago.
I'd say that's probably true, though we did just have our 100 question quiz, and you scored only slightly better than your 2017 results.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. You can find the video of that either on our Patreon, which we very much appreciate. Every single contributor to that really helps us out. Our beloved Quackies over there. You can also find it on our YouTube. That is right, the Quack 12 YouTube account. Aaron, we got a lot. We got a lot to talk about here, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I mean, unfortunate for you because you've probably already talked about most of it with Hythloday.
Well,
fortunate for me because maybe I'll retain something.
Well, actually, Hythloday and Hythloday of Addicted to Quack, have only been doing those duck dives into each individual opponent, which you can find on this main feed. Right. But what we tend to stay away from actual contemporary news. Like when we recorded our UCLA preview, we pretended that they were still in the league. Which they are still, but, they basically aren't. I heard at Pac-12 Media Days, right, they were not allowing the USC or UCLA athletic directors there to talk to everyone because they're like, no, you left. Bye, son. Which that's a great move.
Because they're not gone.
Not yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why are we all pretending like it is currently 2024? There is 2 years to figure out everything, and you might as well be amicable about it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, for real. That's literally what everybody apparently has said. We've given up on everything, Adam. That's a different show. I don't want to talk about it, but we've given up on everything, I think.
That's absolutely a different show. Well, before we hop into this quacking duck news, which maybe should be a segment name, I don't know. Maybe we've already named it that, and I've forgotten. I don't know. Tweet at us. But, Aaron, I'll tell you this. I don't want to do any spoilers whatsoever because, when you go to a movie, you deserve that experience of having it be completely fresh. But I'll tell you this. I saw Jordan Peele's Nope. I know for a fact a whole lot of people are going to absolutely hate that movie. I loved it so damn much. It's my favorite of Jordan Peele's movies. The ranking right now is Nope number 1, Get Out number 2. It's a close number 2, but my personal preference would be Nope. Us is number 3, though I am going to give that a rewatch. It's definitely my number 3. I freaking loved Nope.
The people who are going to dislike Nope
Mm-hmm.
were they going to dislike anything Jordan Peele did regardless? Or is
I
he
think
going to be
so.
turning off fans?
I will say, like, if you didn't like Get Out or Us, then you're probably definitely not going to like Nope. Though
I
this
would
is
assume if you didn't like those two, you don't even have an interest in going to the theater for this one.
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say this though, that this is his big blockbuster. He's trying to make a big blockbuster, and you can probably pretty easily find like 5 references to Steven Spielberg in this movie. Not literal, but just like thematically.
Sure.
And
Well, so
yeah.
smart. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was going to try and make a movie, I would only be able to reference those movies in which I love.
Mhm.
And guess who makes every movie that is just absolutely awesome?
Mr. Stevie
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg. That's right. Well, and this one is like the reason why I think some people are going to hate it is because it is not an easily digestible movie. It's made to be like it. He wants you to be confused,
Well,
and
that's
it's
a bit
amazing.
par for the course with him, I feel like.
Yeah,
He doesn't
absolutely.
want you to have a smoothie. He wants you to have a, friggin' steak.
He wants you to talk about it afterwards with some friends.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
but unlike a David Lynch or something like that, he does want you all to come to the same conclusion. I do believe. Like he likes all these theories, but there is, I believe, a pretty finite answer of what happened in this movie. And that being said, it's also funny as hell. And I'm a huge horror movie fan, as listeners probably annoyingly know because they're just like, shut the hell up about it, dude. But
It's annoying.
there's like 2 or 3 scenes in this movie that are some of legit the scariest things I've ever seen in a theater, and I loved it. And it wasn't, yeah, it was great. That's all I'll say. It's fantastic. It's tied with Everything Everywhere All at Once for my favorite movie of the year. I'd put them like right next to each other. You've seen that one, right? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is currently my most favorite movie.
I believe it. It's a heart warmer, dude.
Well, that's not true. That is my most favorite movie that is current.
There you go.
There.
Boom. I hope it wins a ton of Best Picture or a ton of Oscars in general. We'll see if Hollywood's still whack.
Dude,
Probably is.
honestly, I want it to win everything. I want it to have all the awards, and also I want the Daniels to be able to have the most unlimited budget ever with zero oversight, but also hope that they don't lose their aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also hope Key Kwan slaps Will Smith at the Oscar ceremony. I think that would be funny.
I gotta go there.
But yeah, that movie's just freaking amazing. And if you haven't seen that one, listeners, that one has a more mass appeal, and it is for everybody.
Never mind. I'm gonna leave. Will Smith is not actually allowed back at the Oscars, I think, for 10 years.
Oh, that's right. Well, they'll have to do like a recording from off the, like lot or something, where it's just like, as retaliation, Key Kwan does get to slap him, and Chris Rock gets to watch or something like that.
Sure.
Anywho,
I'm sure Will Smith has the sense of humor these days to totally be a part of that.
Who knows, dude? I'm okay. So I'll check off the Will Smith slap.
All right, we got it.
We talked to that. We had to talk about that, even though we definitely talked about
movies.
Talked about movies. All right, yeah, football. Well, I'll tell you this. Before we get into the unfortunate, tragic news of the offseason, I'll get a little more, I don't know, uplifting note here. But there was the World Championships in Eugene, kind of wreaking some havoc. Actually, it was quite interesting. So this is a track event, right? A world track event.
Okay, we're running.
And yeah, absolutely. Well, it's all the, it'll also be like shot put, hurdles. We'll get into freaking that in a second.
Interesting. This explains why my social media feed started showing me more of that kind of stuff recently.
I bet they know you're a Duck fan.
Never showed me that, and then all of a sudden I'm getting tons of the javelin throwing, and there was like a mixed
relay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, buddy. So it's the first time this event has ever happened in America because we care so little bit about track. But yeah, it's the first time it ever happened in America, and they chose / we allowed / we. I don't think we actually like went for it even as a city or a state. I think it was like, hey, would you guys want to host us? I think I'm not quite sure.
We care so little about this, but because you're Nike.
Yeah.
Put it in this tiny little town. We don't think it's going to do anything to your ecosystem.
Well, this tiny little town called Tracktown, USA, baby. Right. And so they come over to Tracktown, USA, and obviously, like we were upgrading Hayward, if you will, right. Basically for this, but for in general the investment. And so, Phil Knight can have a huge tax write-off, shelter some. I don't know. Perfect. But yeah, so it was a huge event. It was a little overhyped though, because like the city of Eugene was prepping for as if like every day there's going to be a giant football game. Like every restaurant was hiring on people.
And you should, because what you don't want to do is be stuck when it is a dynamite explosion every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be there making sure you're not being left in the dust because you can't keep up.
Well, when I was living in the hellish city of Seattle, I worked at a 24-hour diner the morning of the Seahawks Super Bowl parade.
Oh, boy.
And it was like 2 blocks away. The start was like 2 blocks away from our diner. And the dumbass manager / owner was like, I don't think we're going to get that much of a pop because they're starting at the beginning and then they're going to walk away. The parade was delayed for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it was one of the worst working experiences I've ever had in my life. It was so insanely busy. That's what people were hoping for.
When the insanity hits a level in those, like especially like a cafe, when you're just like, and we've now hit the point where we're never going to catch up.
Yeah.
So
hiring.
Moment whenever I just go, here we are, man. If you want a cafe latte, it's going to be like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So your choice.
Sometimes you just got to throw your hands.
Any faster or working any harder because at this point it no longer matters.
That
would be me.
I mean, sometimes you just got to do that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, to the shock of many Eugenian, that huge hit never happened, really. There were so many restaurants where it's just like, it's literally...
You have all the prestige of being a track town, but it's not going to affect the, economic ecosystem.
I think it kind of equated to like, because when you think about it, it's summer in Eugene. There's a mass exodus of human beings in summer in Eugene.
Right.
And so it kind of just replaced the student, population.
That makes sense. 50,000 left, 50,000 came.
That's kind of what it felt like. And not only that, but apparently there was like no re-entry to the championship game. And they had like morning sessions, like 11 to 5, something like that. And then like 5 to 10 or, something like that. And so there was big chunks where they were just staying there and then going to their hotels in Portland or something like that. So Eugene actually felt a little bit like a ghost town, even though we renovated like a huge part of the city, like near the river. Cherry Poppin' Daddies came and played.
You're kidding.
They're from Eugene.
Really?
Apparently they're called the Daddies now.
I would hope so.
Right.
You don't want that. You don't want that as a positive.
With your jazz band.
Especially
the older you get.
When they were, I remember when they first showed up on the scene, it was like, who are these old dudes in the oversized suits?
Yeah. And that was back then.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know that you want to be a a sea popper, at 56 or however old they are now.
Yeah, the combination of sea popper and daddy is like, this is a jazz band we're talking about? This is a swing band?
No, yeah, there's big band, swing band.
Well, I'll tell you this though, watching these, because you were able to watch it on like Peacock, and a lot of it was on NBC actually proper, which is pretty cool. See a track event that isn't the Olympics on NBC.
Yeah.
The event itself was pretty dang cool. I do think it was a bit elitist with its pricing. I did not go because I just like, there was one day I could have made it work with my work schedule and such. And the tickets, I could have gotten a deal because they were trying to sell it out, especially the first night. Yeah. And I could have gotten like 2 freaking tickets for like $50 total. And I'm kicking myself for not going because after that, the cheapest ticket you could get, unless you knew someone, which apparently I didn't know anyone, was like $140 for like a nosebleed. Which there's no terrible spot in Hayward.
Yeah. That sounds like they know their audience.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to bring on new, locals to enjoy the sport of track more.
Oh, yeah. And it was a bummer because, like, a lot of times half of Hayward would be empty. And it's like, okay, so people bought, like, $700 tickets and then they just didn't come, or they were like, I don't want to be here. And then there was like no resale option.
Right.
Like, come on, get the local kids in there if you want to spread the tracks.
Globally, it's still kind of wild out there with the COVID and with flight restrictions because of oil sanctions and all kinds of shit.
Well, I'll tell you this, though, that you could see like wide spreads through the country, or spreads, wow. Like camera angles, camera shots of just a ton of people in the crowds. Not a whole lot of masks, so everyone didn't seem too concerned on that part. Sure. The event itself, though, was very fun to watch.
Right.
Quite a few world records were broken.
From Brazil to Eugene.
Yeah.
Might be pretty tough because who knows what's going on I don't know what's going on in Brazil with literally everything that we're probably dealing with here as well.
Yeah. No, it was a tricky time with that. Eugene was not as busy, like traffic wise or commerce wise. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on how much money they're spending in the town proper, really.
I heard the state covered a lot of it and the city covered a lot of it. I'll tell you this, a lot of people, you can look at the graffiti and stuff, were not happy with the event, especially because they're like, this isn't even giving us as much money as we thought. But I did like the global sense of it. It was cool how many people from around the world were in Eugene all of a sudden. I've never in my life seen so many people running, going on their jog with someone on a bike next to them, like their trainer, and then just having conversations. I saw that like 6 times in one day. It's like, damn.
Incredible.
Yeah. It was like, there's a lot of love for Prefontaine, obviously. It was pretty cool. I really dug it.
While I understand, because it is a smaller town, that thrives off of the university existing there.
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
I understand when it feels like a disappointment that you didn't get a bonus check, if you will.
Yeah,
but also I think it's important to remember that there was an opportunity to be a ambassador of goodwill for the nation, and I hope that everybody did that.
There was a whole lot of from the announcer just being like, and hopefully this will ignite the love for track in the US of A.
No, never.
It's like, no. I'll tell you what we will do, though. We'll dominate your little event. Boom!
Look,
it was pretty sweet.
The only way we're going to, as a nation, the only way we're going to get into track and field is if there are landmines.
They're like, now you got something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need to, like, blow people up, but if they were landmines that were designed to be, like, giant pillows of air, so as you're running, maybe all of a sudden you're just, like, launched off the track.
Okay.
Or if, like, in the throwing competitions, you have to get it through like 20 rings. And there's
just make it
like
harder.
5 defenders trying to block it from going through the rings.
Well,
I think then you've got a more American sport.
Yeah, more explosions.
These traditional old school things like running, throwing.
No,
we're way past that.
We're way past that. Well, I'll tell you, dude. This one was pretty exciting. For some good reasons, for some shitty reasons. Cindy McLaughlin. I think that's how you say it. It's like, do you hit the GH? Do you do that? I think it's McLaughlin. I feel like I hear
McLaughlin or McLaughlin.
Yeah, I always forget. I heard her name a million times though. She, 22 years old. I mean, she had a great Olympic showing too. Just freaking killed it, dude. Like, just on a different level than everyone else in her competition. Yeah, she was great. She was absolutely fun to watch. In both the relay and her like solo events. Noah Lyles was ridiculously fast as always. He broke Michael Johnson's U.S. record. The U.S. actually lost to Canada in their relays though. That was pretty interesting.
I think I saw that record was broken.
Yeah, and Lyles,
I paid any mind to it. I saw it and I went, all right.
Exactly. Well,
Bummer.
there's also this. My girlfriend kept pointing out because she was very into it. The difference is, like, there's 2 different ways you can celebrate being like a true great Olympic athlete. I think there's 2 possibilities. One is you can go like the Cindy McLaughlin style, where you are. She was like much more somber, like kind of like, sat on the ground and really like took it in, and like everyone was cheering her on.
She
and
ran
like, yeah.
so hard. She's got to take a knee and mellow.
Yeah, great picture opportunity. Or you got Noah Lyles, who on his side was like, literally ripped his shirt, like his track, whatever thing, like Superman style. Yeah, exactly. Like really went like, I'm the best. Which I think both are right. I think you're more of a somber, like look up in the crowd, really take it in kind of guy. I don't know what I'd be.
On a national level?
Mm-hmm. World level. This is a world level, though.
Right. Sorry. On an international level, if I was representing nationally, then I would do the one where you win and then you get pulled. You slowly like find your way over to your teammate.
Yeah.
Your like team of coaches, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you've got like your flag wrapped around you, and then you just like kind of run for a little bit with the flag holding it behind you.
That's like classy. That's absolutely classy.
Yeah. I'd go classy.
Nice. You're a class act. One thing I wasn't classy. Yeah.
I want it to be that like style where they drape me in the flag, kind of like James Brown on stage.
Mm-hmm. Try to take you away.
Down, and then the guys would come up and put his cape on.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, no.
Yeah, James Brown style, yeah. So it'd be a little controversial at the end there because you're rejecting the flag.
Yeah, controversial as fuck, bro.
That's so great.
I'd go, forget classy. Although James Brown, one of the classiest men.
Everyone knows that.
I'll go full James Brown cape. No, I don't want the cape. Cape. No, I don't want the cape. Cape. No, I don't want the cape.
James Brown, classy. Everyone knows that. Yeah.
Look, we all have our down times. If that's the comment you're trying to make here.
You know what wasn't classy? One thing I didn't like is, so they had this Sasquatch mascot that I assume they made up just because it's Northwest, and
as you should.
So they got a whole new. He's a yellow mascot. He was very acrobatic. He was cool. He very much forced himself into many. Like, it'd be like you just won gold or you just won a world, beat a world record. And then this yellow Sasquatch comes over. And, like, that's the time he desperately wants to pose with you. Or you'd have a little sign and say, like, I eat world records for breakfast, baby. And then, like, there was other times where it's like, when they were handing you your gold, they would then hand you a little plushie of the Sasquatch mascot. And so you were holding your gold and then this little toy that they were clearly desperate to sell because they had so many left over. I thought that was a little tacky, if I'm being real.
Yeah, that's a money-making opportunity that is just... It is the same issue I have with the Star Wars franchise.
Here we go.
That's about it.
Merchandising. That's what you have.
You automatically know what I mean whenever I say that.
Well, that's what got George Lucas's money in that first movie, is the merchandising.
And that's exactly the point. It's just a money grab, and that's the issue.
It felt like it. That being said, please, for our $100 monthly Quack 12 patrons, we don't have any yet, but we will invent or find or create a TD plushie. TD, our mascot.
Oh, yeah.
Touchdown. We'll call him that. Yeah, Touchdown. His name's Touchdown now. I don't like his name being Trevor anymore. Touchdown over here, who people on the YouTube can see him floating around. He's been here the whole time. Kind of annoying. We'll send you either him or a plushie in his image for $100 a month. Only 1 year of subscription at that level will get you this made-up plushie.
Are you okay with your likeness being utilized like that, bro?
Your name, image, and likeness, TD? Do you like? He doesn't like it, but he doesn't really have a say because he's a student. He's not a professional athlete.
He is an animate object.
He's an animate object. Some other highlights were definitely Allison Felix, even though she's, a Trojan. Got to give it up for her. She got her 20th medal and retired. Damn, 20 medals is so damn much.
That's amazing.
There was a lot of just freaking drama, especially in like the hurdles. One of the hurdle, like the people were just tripping left and right on these hurdles, just taking them out, just being out of the whole competition because of it. And not only that, there's one, she was solo running because of some weird disqualifying thing. He was like, we're going to give you another shot to run this, but it's just going to be you. If you beat 13 seconds, you're in. And so everyone was cheering for her. It's kind of a weird thing where you're watching one person race against the clock. And she nearly made it. It was like 12.7 seconds and she was about to make it. But the last hurdle, her toe hit on it. She recovered. She almost made it. And she stumbled and almost stumbled across the line in time. But she fell like a foot before. And the clock went over 13 seconds and she didn't make it. It was hard to watch.
My God.
But, dude, that's not the worst. That is not the worst of it, because we're about to get into the absolute worst of this, what made me feel like a bullshit competition at the time.
Okay.
Devin Allen. You know Devin Allen. He's an ex-Oregon Duck. Once a Duck, always a Duck. But, was on the football team, was on it for actually that national championship run. He got hurt, unfortunately, didn't play in that title game, but was a huge part of that season. One of the fastest men in the world, one of the best hurdlers in the world. And actually, he's been on the international track, Olympic beat for quite a while. Has done really well in the Olympics. Hasn't won gold per se, but has done really well. Has been a competitor for America at hurdle for quite a while. He actually got signed for the Philadelphia Eagles. We did cover that. So he's a 27-year-old, and he's starting his NFL career. So that's exciting, too, because of his elite speed, especially. So this dude, he's he's hurdling. He's doing a great job qualifying. He really could. It looks like he's winning some medal here. We get to the final, right? Whew, dude. There's some bullshit. This is why Americans don't like track, my man. He gets disqualified. Now, if you do a false start, if you go before the gun is shot, you're disqualified. Boom, you're done. However, he did not get disqualified for doing it before the gun. He got disqualified for jumping after the gun. He left with 0.099 seconds after the shot. So way less than 1 second, right?
Right.
The rule is if the pressure of the pad that you're on, right, is released before 0.1 second, so that is 1/10 of a second, they assume that you anticipated the gun, like you were ready for it to go, and you jumped before the gun, because they say that the human reaction time can't be faster than 1/10 of a second. Supposedly. It's been a while since scientifically they've like really looked into that, but that's the line they've drawn. That being said, my man is superhuman, and he's regularly gotten off on really quick starts. And this time, like, so his time was 0.099 off of the, like starting the race.
So literally he hit it at 0.1, really.
I mean, he was 0.001. That is right, 0.001 too fast, and so they disqualified him.
0.099.
He was 0.099, like that's how long it took him to get off, and so he was 0.001 too fast, because they give you the 0.1.
The difference, right?
Yeah, and it was, if you watch this, it's such bullshit, because they literally say it is faster than the human eye can actually, like, handle. Like, you'll watch the clip, and you won't see him jump. You're like, what do you mean? He's, like, it looks like he's going after some people even. It's so soon. Like, his feet haven't left. So it was bullshit, and it was really hard to, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either A... obviously, it's been so long. Things have changed as far as what humans can achieve in an athletic level. So obviously, we need to be retesting all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And we should also look at we should average out each person's performance. So if he's like constantly hitting it that fast, then that's just where bro's at. And so they can't disqualify him for something he just does on the average.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I think, too, it's like
boo-boo.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also just, I don't know. It's like, sure, I get what you're trying to do, but I think the punishment really for anticipating the gun is that you should, if you go early, you're done. Like, you are disqualified, and I think that's fair, because they want to make sure you aren't leaving early.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're leaving like, what the fuck are we talking about here? I don't know. There's plenty of actual track people that could weigh in on this, but it's a lot.
And I'll just leave it. My quibble with the situation comes with the fact that the officials say the reasoning is because humans can't do that. I think putting a limit on what a human is able to achieve is ridiculous, because evolution. Anyway.
We're not an evolution podcast. We're a Dave Pash podcast.
We're definitely, it's like, I like, in a sporting sense, I like to equate it to skateboarding. In the 1980s, when Rodney Mullen did a flat ground kickflip, it blew everyone's mind away. It was impossible. It is literally the first trick you learn now. You know what I mean? It's
there you go.
You ollie, and then you kickflip, and then you board slide. That's the order.
And it may be too fast for a human.
Are escalating. You can't say we have a limit when we're constantly escalating.
Maybe too fast for a human, but not too fast for a duck, baby. Yeah.
Science. It's not too fast for science.
She blinded me.
Science.
He did go on the Dan Patrick show. Dan, hop on this show anytime you want. We love you, buddy. We know you, we'd love to have you back on. But on the Dan Patrick show, he said, usually if you look at all my reaction times, I'm probably in the top 1 to 5% of all sprinters at every competition I'm at. And so usually I'm just a quick reactor to the gun. Otherwise, but that was like his amount of complaining that he did. Otherwise, he was just being like, I'm going to take it in stride. I'm gonna, try out go for the next one and take this as a lesson. And it was pretty cool. I hope he does great for the Eagles, man. I'll be rooting for him.
Here's what they want to. Here's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go find a sports laboratory. I want to hook him up to all the brain machines.
Hook him
get
up.
him on some pads and start running tests and see what his brain activity is doing during the fight. The gun test. Because it could be that he just has really fast synapses.
I mean, he's a fast freaking dude.
Yeah.
What can I say?
When you train yourself and you focus in on something specifically like that, it's amazing what the human body can achieve.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll tell you this. Last time we talked, this is not breaking news. This is more like settled news. I don't know.
Okay,
last time we talked,
maybe a little dust up.
Oh yeah, a little dust up. Last time we talked, we were like, okay, USC, UCLA, bye. Maybe Oregon, maybe Washington can get out of here. Who knows what's happening? Maybe everyone's about to go to the Big 12. All that may be true. But as of right now, we're the Pac-10. We're holding strong. We're not changing the name of the of the podcast. Don't even ask us. It's Quack 12. After all these years.
Remember, it's still the Pac-12. 2 more years of Pac-12.
Yeah, it's still the Pac-12. That's very true.
Like, everyone mellow out.
Mellow the fuck out. There are negotiations going on. ESPN is supposedly really lowballing the hell out of us. Also, though, we just aren't as... We're more valuable than ESPN is telling us, but we're a little less valuable than a whole lot of the other Power 5, blue blood programs.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's about to become so homogenous anyways. I mean, come 2025, welcome to the 2 leagues, and then everything under that is going to be considered underground because it won't be televised.
Yeah.
People will go to their college football games because they love football, not because, it's popular on the TV.
And because it'll be the only place to shelter yourself from the eventual water worlds that'll come later. That will happen in 2025, as we've predicted since the beginning of this show.
That's right.
And then we got really terrible news. This is not new news, but it's something that we haven't really talked about on the show because we had kind of recorded a bunch of backlog. But now it's finally got to this, the tragic death of Spencer Webb, the tight end for the Oregon Duck football team. I think especially since his death, there's been a lot of people with a lot of good retrospect of just being like, dude was just a really good guy. A really good guy that came from a really tough environment where I believe kind of both of his parents weren't really around so much because of addiction issues. His brother really, brought him up, I believe, with some other family members eventually. So he was moving around a lot. That's a really tough environment to grow up in. But from all reports, he grew up a really nice guy, a really good guy. We'll remember him on the football field for probably his biggest moment was that awesome catch over the Auburn player in the end zone. That was a really big moment, but bigger than that, it really does seem like he touched a lot of people in Eugene. He died tragically. They're not quite sure, but they know it's something to do with kind of a cliff diving around Triangle Lake. I don't want to turn this into some kind of moral thing about being safe about that, but I will tell you I've also had a close friend in high school die basically that exact way. He jumped off a bridge that everyone would jump off of, it was a total normal thing. He was a very athletic person, but there was just a rock under the water that you didn't see, and sometimes that's all it is. And it's a tragic accident. There's been a lot of memorials around Autzen Stadium, around on campus. A lot of people showing good respect. What
was the player's name?
Spencer Webb. Spencer Webb.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Spencer Webb.
You didn't tell me any of that, and you've been talking about him for 3 minutes and didn't say his name, and now I know it's Spencer Webb?
Yeah, it's Mr. Webb. He's been gone for a while, my man. Yeah,
Oh,
tragic.
he
Yeah,
was one of my faves.
yeah.
I blame
He's
social media.
You blame social. Well, somehow you avoided it because he's been around. Yeah. So I don't know what there is really to say, especially at this point. Besides, our hearts go out to him. It's a tragic thing, especially when you it really makes you step back and be like, because he's been on the team for a while, but you're just like, holy shit, dude was 22 years old. Like we're talking about adults, but also kids every time we're talking about these sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, tragic stuff. It does seem like the team's really rallied around. It's bigger than football, but yeah, heart goes out to your Webb and family of Webb. But that's probably been the biggest off-season news. Not the news you ever want to hear.
Nope.
And yeah, I don't really know what to say past that. Tough stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I have been paying a little attention.
I hope you didn't choose that to be our final story, though. I will
No.
say that because leaving on such a downer is like, well, okay, I guess tune in next week, y'all.
Yeah, we're going MASH style.
Yeah.
Ending on a down note. Well, I'll tell you this. I have been watching Sabrina Ionescu a lot lately, and she's freaking good, dude. Her team ain't so good, but she's still freaking killing it, and she's gonna have that triple-double record in like no time. Like she's already like tied the WNBA career triple double, right? And she's like barely been playing. It's amazing. Yeah, I've really liked her. We got a new track coach. Does that make you feel good?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do we have a new women's basketball coach?
No, Kelly Graves is still there.
Okay, because that was a little bit of some goss a while back, right?
Oh no, I mean not really. It was me complaining about Kelly Graves, but no one is thinking about getting rid of him at all.
Well,
he's taking besides us. Well, I don't know what it would actually take for Kelly, and I'm not sure if I even want him to go. Like if it keeps on, if the past 2 seasons were to happen for the next 6 seasons, then I would be really high on my podium being like, I don't know, let's find someone else. But who knows, maybe all he needed was a roster to really solidify itself, and maybe that's this season.
I think that is what we accidentally got used to, was that the exact right cocktail of players was created. And it just so happened that 3 of them might be the best players of all time.
I know. Well, that's the thing.
It's like accidentally realizing you have Michael Jordan and LeBron James on your team. You're like, oh, I don't actually have to coach anymore. They get my concept, which is work as a team, but be really great.
And see, so I want Kelly Graves to end up being, I don't know. I want him to be someone who is able to do it again. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the unfortunate part here is that if his concept is to lean more on teaching the team how to respond as a team, so that he doesn't have to, then we might be in some trouble for some whiles.
Yeah.
Because as you perform worse, that's the level of, recruit you're going to be able to get. And therefore the hurdle you're going to have to get over is that teaching them how to work as a team and make the smart decisions accurately.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I just want him to be a Phil Jackson. I want him to be the person who's bringing in generational talent on a regular basis and gets those titles, or one title.
When I think of Phil Jackson, and I could be way wrong because sports, don't know it, but I do understand his persona and remember him from his heyday, and it does feel like he's much more aggressive than Graves is.
Certainly on the sidelines.
And I think he's firing at an intensity that was brewing confidence in the players to fire off at that same intensity.
Mm.
And if your concept of coaching is to kind of just, not be an intense person, then I don't know. I don't know anything about it, bro. I'm just speculating.
That's our job here. Speaking of which, Aaron, shall we? I think it's time for one of our favorite segments that we haven't done in a little bit, and that would be, of course, the button I'm about to push, which is the picks. Woo!
Now that's odd.
What's that?
Is football season about to start?
No. I mean, we still got like a month, but that's pretty freaking close, dude. We got 1 month. I figured we would start peppering this in as a regular segment again because I want to start doing the regular season totals of the picks. Now, listeners, as you know, Hithliday and I have been doing some deep dives on these teams. Meanwhile, Aaron has been doing some deep dives on bags of potato chips. I don't know.
No, wait, dog. I don't eat potato chips.
What are you diving on snack-wise lately?
Fruit.
He's been doing some deep dive on some oranges.
Nope. Cherries.
Bananas. Cherries.
Strawberries. Apples. Bananas.
Got it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Hey. We have to do a timeout real quick because I have to go pee.
Okay, well,
I will be right back, and then we're going to pick up at the picks.
This is not getting edited out whatsoever, so...
And action. Right. So I haven't been doing any research except for that which dives deeper into myself and my predilection for predicting outcome.
Well, look at you. Okay. Well, yeah. So what you're saying is you haven't done any research or anything. You're just going to go
I haven't done a lick of research, my man.
There we go. That's all I need to hear. But
I know 2 teams are leaving, but they're still here, so they still count.
However, you have I honestly every year I'm like, oh, I should remember the tally of who's won the pick'em competition every year, and I forget. I want to say we're tied 2-2.
No, I've definitely won every single year.
That is not fucking true. I definitely won last year, at least. Whatever.
No, I won it because Hithliday was on the show as it happened. I'm almost sure.
You're almost sure. Well.
Or Boss was. I was up by 5, and then I won it by 3. I think that is the truth.
That may... I don't remember. Well, anyways, slate is clean. I'm wiping the slate clean.
Adam.
You have picked better than me over the years.
So, I'm glad we've gotten to the clean slate part of it because I do want to make the announcement. For this season, I have decided Arizona is back on the list of possible votes.
Because last year, every single time there was an option between picking Arizona and a different school, you always went with a different school.
That's right.
That worked out very well in your favor considering they only won one game.
Right. And so now I am allowing them back on the possible win list.
Okay. I like it.
I might be removing another team. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll find out.
Hopefully not Oregon. So I got these here, and I'm over on VegasInsider.com. I'm using their betting lines right now because I can't find much. Now, my man, we're gonna do 4 teams. 4 teams today, and the next 2 eps we'll do the other 8. Sound good to you?
Sure.
And I'm kind of going random order here. I'm starting off.
Why you wouldn't just split it up 6 and 6?
Yeah, more content.
It's equal amount of content, my guy.
You want to do 6 and 6? Huh? No, we're doing 4 and 4. 4, 4, 4.
Is great. It makes that rhyme work.
No, it's 4, 4, 4 is what we're doing. That's why.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's get into the Cal Golden Bears, okay? Cal Golden Bears had a pretty shitty season last year. I mean, maybe it's good. No, it's a bad season for them, I'd say. 5 and 7. It's unfortunately an average season for them, but it ain't that great. Didn't even get to a bowl game. Played a pointless game against USC after the Pac-12 championship game. I remember that was insane. They're losing some pretty key players, including their quarterback, so that's going to really hurt them. That's going to probably really hurt them because Chase Garbers was not garbage for quite a bit of his career. Losing a lot on offense, losing a lot on defense. But, I mean, Justin Wilcox got an extension, thanks to us partially, because we were trying to hire him away. I'll tell you this, they play UC Davis, UNLV, and Notre Dame for their conference or non-con schedule. They got road games at Washington State, at Colorado. Aaron, do you need to know any more information? I'll tell you this. They're over and under. This is your choice here. Is 5.5 wins. So it's basically you're saying, are they going to make a bowl game or are they not going to make a bowl game? Because you got to get to 6.
Wow, Vegas really just going gray as fuck, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so they've lost a lot. They've got a coach who's now getting more money. He might be getting sloppier because of such. Fact. Money makes you lazy. Fact. Dude, they're gonna win. Am I gonna say how many games they're gonna win?
That'll help. Yeah, sure. Let me know.
They're gonna win like 4 games.
Top. 4 games. So you're going under overall.
Oh yeah, I'll go under. Definitely under 5.5. I think they win 4 games. I think one of them is at home. The other 3 are on the road against teams that's like, yeah, you better beat those teams.
Holy shit. So my guess would be at Colorado, they're winning. At Oregon State, I mean, I feel like that's going to be one of the worst. And then either at USC or at Notre Dame, I would... This season, I am stoked on, USC get as many losses as possible because I'm afraid. If they go undefeated, win the Pac-12, and then in 2 years go to the Big Ten, that would suck. I would hate it. That being said, I'm also feeling pretty underwhelmed by this squad. Mm-hmm. If I were to say the exact win...
True.
Yeah. It's the truth. I think they're getting a win at UC Davis. I think they're getting a win. If I'm just doing possible wins, UNLV, Arizona, at Washington State, at Colorado, at Oregon State. Those are ones that I feel like that's 6, but I don't think they're winning all those games. I think they're dropping.
Happening.
No, I think they're dropping at least one of those games, which would put them under. I'll put them at another 5 seasons. They've done a lot of 5-win seasons, and I'm gonna have to go with that one. I feel like that's right. So both of us got the under there betters. So just keep that in mind. We're very smart.
My specifics of 4 games, 3 on road, 1 at home.
I didn't do 3 on road, 1 at home, but I'll write that down just just for the diehard Quack 12 Wikipedia people that keep that updated as much as possible.
There's going to be a time when our past selves catch up to this moment, and we need that information to document it in the Quack 12 history.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, yeah, I don't know where that is. I probably wrote that down, but I didn't go back and listen. Let's go with our most ancient of rivals here. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Oregon State. I'm talking about Oregon Agricultural College. I'm talking about OAC. Hayseeds. Now, this one, I mean, they got Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith is a great coach. He's really building them something every damn year. They're going to, Chance Nolan, he beat us in that crazy fog interdimensional game.
Yeah.
Luke Musgrave, the tight end, is still there. He was always great. They're bringing like 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. I don't know. Their defense has got some fun players like Omar Spates, of course, linebacker that we all like. Isaiah Hodgins been fun. I don't know. So they're back. 7-6 season was their last season. They went to the LA Bowl, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, as you remember, and they lost to Utah State, which blows. But now we got some interesting games coming up because they're out of their non-conference. Boise State, that's something. Boise State isn't great right now, but I mean they had our number every year. At Fresno State, Jeff Tedford coming back. That's very intriguing. I do really like that quite a bit. And then versus Montana State. That Montana State game, I do believe, is happening against Multnomah Athletic Club, or at Multnomah Athletic Club in Portland. Yeah. Which I kind of want to go to that game, even though it's a boring game. And I think Oregon State's just going to blow the doors off of them. But it's pretty fun. It's happening there. Now, besides that, we got road games at Utah, at Stanford, at Washington. Oregon obviously ends it all. And they're missing UCLA, and I do believe Arizona. That's a tough one to miss. You'll want to usually play Arizona, but
yeah, because you get that win.
You get that W, baby. Aaron, how about them Beefs? Wait, sorry, I got to look up the over/under.
Yeah, let's say, what's Vegas say?
Vegas is probably right.
Expecting them to get 7 games or some shit.
We'll see. I got it pulled up. Like a good podcast host, I did not pull up any of this beforehand. So we got it right here, though. They're predicted. Oh, there you go. 5.5. Once again, 5.
Wow.
They love that number for the not good teams.
This time, I think it's 5. I think it's still under.
Closer, though.
Closer? But they are a get to a bowl game team these days. But that's it.
Yeah.
So it's 5.
Right. I think they're going 2 out of 3 for their non-con. There's a whole lot of Pac-12 teams that are looking a bit scary here. I feel like games against like Colorado, California, those could definitely be wins for the Beavs. Not guaranteed, but it could be. At Washington, that's always really fun. At Stanford could be a win. Who knows? I think the possibility for a bowl game is here. Things have to line up really well. I am going to say they hit exactly 6 wins. So that would be over for me, my man.
I wanted to go with 6. I was vibing that too, but then I felt 5 harder.
Well, you're going to feel real sad when at the end of the year when we pull these out and you're wrong in every damn one. Let's talk about another maybe bad team. I think it's very possible that this may be a team that you don't want to watch, honestly. And that is...
You're stacking it up like the Pac-12 is just dirt.
I mean, according to ESPN's numbers, they're just above dirt, but barely.
Of course.
We got Stanford. As always, David Shaw is there in his millionth season, getting his billionth dollar. Yeah. Dude, this is one thing, though. They're bringing back, like, everyone on offense. Now, including offensive line that was struggling, if I'm being real. But they're all seniors, so that's got to mean something. They're literally bringing 10 of 11 offensive starters. That's very impressive. Defense, not so much. But can Tanner McKee make enough of a difference with his pretty good receiving core? I like Bryson Tremaine quite a bit, anyways. Can he make a big enough difference to get them to, I don't know, a bowl game or something? Last season, they went 3-9, which is more fucking infuriating when you realize one of those wins was against our asses.
Right.
Which is, we had such a good season, and then we lose to Stanford. It's annoying as hell. It really is annoying as hell. That being said, they got a weird non-con. They always got a weird non-con. For example, instead of starting with 3 non-conference games like everyone else in the universe, basically, they start, first of all, against Colgate. Colgate is not a college you hear very often. It's a toothpaste you hear a lot, but it's not a college you hear very often because it's an Ivy League. So they're going against an Ivy League school. If they don't win that would be freaking hysterical. They got Notre Dame in the middle of their season at Notre Dame because that's their weird, relationship with them. Sure. And then at the very end, BYU. Which BYU, who knows? They were certainly good last year when a lot of people thought they were going to take a step down. As far as conference games, week 2 you got USC. Luckily, that's on the farm. Then you've got at Washington, at Oregon, and at UCLA, at Utah, at California. Those are all the road games. Some of those are pretty dang tough. They lost to California pretty severely last year, 41-11. Aaron, I've got right here what Vegas Insider says is a good bet, which is 4.5. 4.5.
Woof.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, they're not going to a bowl game. That is under.
Under. You going with under?
Oh, yeah.
You know I love it. You know I love that. Under 4.5. Aaron, I'm obliged to agree with you because I think guaranteed wins, they're beating Colgate. After that, bro, I'm looking. They don't have Arizona. And they don't have, I want to say, sorry to do this in real time. They got both the California schools. They got Utah. Oh, Colorado. Damn. So literally they're missing like the 2 worst schools to miss too. Arizona and Colorado.
Well,
they're going. They're not going under 4.5. I mean, they are going under 4.5. I'm hitting that hard. I think they're winning. I think it's another 3-win season for them. When 2 of those will be like upsets. Like, damn, they suck. They ain't good, but who knows? Maybe they'll beat us next year. Mm-hmm. Apparently that can just happen at any point.
Yep.
One last team we'll do on this sesh, then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Aaron, we got the Washington Huskies. Okay. I don't like them. You don't like them. First year under Kalen DeBoer. Jimmy Lake is gone. He can't hurt him anymore, unfortunately. Literally, honestly. So they're bringing back, not much on the offense, if I'm being real. I will say this, for QB, they got a pretty interesting situation where it's like Dylan Morris, Michael Penix Jr., who transferred over, Sam Heward, who's their, golden god, who, legacy player that's supposed to be good, but we'll find out. Yeah, I don't know, dude. People aren't stoked on Dylan Morris, obviously. Last year they went 4-8, including their week 1 loss to goddamn Montana, which is the funniest thing in the world. But this season, they're starting off with Kent State, then Portland State, then Michigan State. All those are home. Likely wins, obviously. But, not Michigan State. Sorry. Mel Tucker, he's got something to say about that. At UCLA, at Arizona State, at California, at Oregon, at Wazoo. Wazoo finally broke that Apple Cup streak. That's freaking huge. As far as who Washington is missing in the South, I do not see a USC on this, which is probably pretty freaking good for them. And I don't see a Utah. So they probably lucked out the most out of any. Like, those are the two teams you'll want to miss. Mm-hmm. Oregon, obviously, but they're in our conference, so they can't. Now, the Vegas insider for this most terrible Husky team, which we all hate and all hope get relegated to a different sport even. I would personally like that. There it is. Vegas insider has their win total possibly somewhere around, I'm seeing likely to win the national championship. No, don't bet on that. Don't be an idiot. 7.5 wins. So they're pretty high on them there. 7.5 wins.
Interesting. Adam, it's interesting because I had out of the gate, everything you said, I kept saying to myself, gut reaction, they're going to win 7 games.
Oh.
So under, but
barely.
Oddly accurate, though.
Barely. 7. I bet a whole bunch of Husky fans, you would have to be showing them a lot of like stuff on the field that is entertaining for them to feel good about 7 wins. So I do like that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they're beating Kent State. I think they're beating Portland State, certainly at home. Some of the other weaker opponents, Stanford and Seattle. That could be a win. Arizona. Though, I mean, yeah. That was one of their bigger wins. It was a close game, though, last season. And then we got maybe at California, maybe Oregon State. Definitely not Oregon. Definitely not at Oregon. Colorado, maybe Wazoo. So if they beat everyone that they should, it's 8 wins.
Yes.
Damn.
Bro.
I think I'm going to have to disagree with you here, dude.
I think I kind of want to go to 8 as well, but I think they're going to blow a couple. So
I think they're going to get they're going to beat almost everyone they should. They're going to lose to one of them, but then they'll have an upset. Hopefully not Oregon. Dear Lord, hopefully not Oregon. Just knocked on wood.
Yeah, I think it's 7 because there's going to be one of those AOGs, if you will, a little act of God happening.
AOG on the OKGs, our kind of guys. Sounds right. Well, Aaron, holy shit, that was the picks.
There was, baby. We did it.
We did 4 of them. Yeah, we did 4 of them.
Right.
For what is now the Pac-12. We caught you up, though. Y'all caught up, baby?
I feel pretty caught up.
You feel pretty caught up.
There's still
TD.
8 other teams I know nothing about, but I feel pretty caught up.
I would argue you don't even know these 4 or Oregon all that well.
Next week, I won't remember much about who's good or bad.
You'll be like Bill Walton. You'll be like, Adam, is it? Is it Adam?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Aaron, holy hell, I'm excited for football. I hope it's good. I mean, we're starting off against freaking Georgia in a quote-unquote neutral site game in Atlanta. So, shit's going to be crazy. We're not that far away, though. So tune in every damn week. We're publishing these bad boys. Go to quack12.com if you want to keep up with us and to find our Patreon, Quack12 Patreon. For $5 measly bucks a month, you can get some awesome regular content from this show in addition to our regular free show on the main feed. And, hey, if you don't have the Skrilla to help us out, no worries. You still can. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It really helps people find the show. Leave us a little comment.
Yep.
Say whatever you want there. We really don't care. Follow us on Twitter at Quack12 Podcast. Follow our YouTube if you want to see our little faces on the screen, including our virtual mascot, TD. Yeah, baby.
We call him T the D?
T the D. T to the D.
T to the D.
See, that's the little. It's a nickname that's longer than his real name.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that. Aaron, any final words to say to our audience before I hit this end button?
Yes, peace is dope, and dope is peace.
Whoa, brother. Oh, that's deep, brother. See y'all next week.